Mr. Secretary General, Excellencies, distinguished representatives of the member states, generals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award and the Dag Hammarskjold Medal Ceremony. The General Assembly in its Resolution 57/129 designated 29th May as the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. This year, this commemoration takes a special meaning as we mark the 75th anniversary of United Nations peacekeeping. During today's ceremony, the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award and the Dag Hammarskjold medals will be presented. Now, the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 on Women, Peace and Security underscores the principles of prevention, protection, participation, and gender equality. Created in 2016, the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award recognizes the outstanding dedication and effort of an individual military peacekeeper in promoting these principles within a peace operations context. This year, 6 missions each nominated a military peacekeeper for consideration of this award. Following a rigorous selection process, a nominee from UNISFA was chosen as the 2022 Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award winner. The nominee served in UNISFA as an engagement platoon commander. This military officer has consistently sought to integrate the principles of the United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 into planning, operations, and the daily work of UNISFA. For its part, the Dag Hammarskjold Medal was approved by the United Nations Security Council in July 1997 as tribute to the sacrifice of military, police, and civilian men and women from all over the world who have laid down their lives while serving in United Nations peacekeeping operations. This medal commemorates the strength, purity, and fragility of the lives lost in the cause of peace. Today, 103 fallen peacekeepers from 39 member states will receive this symbol of the ultimate sacrifice. We now invite the United Nations Secretary General to share his thoughts at this occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary General.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, moments ago, I laid a wreath at the Peacekeepers Memorial to honor the women and men who have sacrificed their lives serving under the UN flag in support of the most important cause of all, peace. We mourn their loss and share our deepest sympathies with their families, friends, and colleagues. We will never forget their contributions. Please join me in a moment of silence in their memory. Thank you. Every year, the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers provides an opportunity to honor the women and men who are pursuing peace on the front lines in some of the world's most dangerous places. But this year is special as we commemorate 75 years of UN peacekeeping. What began as a bold experiment with the deployment of a small number of military observers to the Middle East in 1948 is now a flagship enterprise of our organization. Today, for civilians caught in the hell of conflict, our blue helmets are a beacon of hope and protection. They support security, stability, and the rule of law in host countries. They represent the beating heart of the United Nations commitment to peace. By bringing peacekeepers together from around the world, peacekeeping has also become an inspiring symbol of multilateralism in action. Our more than 87,000 peacekeepers hail from 125 countries and work across 12 operations. Standing together, they face a daunting array of rising global tensions and divides. Conflicts are becoming more complex. Peace processes are stagnating. Terrorism, armed groups, gang violence, and transnational crime are poisoning communities, countries, and entire regions. And the digital world has become a frightening frontier of tension, division, hate, and mis- and disinformation. Sadly, our peacekeepers are increasingly working in places where there is no peace to keep. And so we must seriously reflect on the need for a new generation of peace enforcement missions and counter-terrorism operations led by our partners with the UN Security Council mandate and the Chapter 7 of the UN Charter with guaranteed funding, namely through assessed contributions. Despite all obstacles, our personnel persevere, risking their own lives in service of others. Many have paid the ultimate price, with more than 4,200 killed in the cause of peace. 2022 added 103 more names to that honorable list. Our fallen military, police and civilian personnel came from 39 different countries with diverse backgrounds. But all embodied our duty to peace, and I extend my deepest condolences and gratitude to their families, friends, colleagues, and home countries here represented. I pay tribute to their service and sacrifice, which inspire our work every day. And I commit to doing everything we can to support our peacekeepers in their mission, including improving their safety and security and the effectiveness of peacekeeping through the Action for Peacekeeping Plus strategy. We thank Member States and all partners for their commitment to this effort. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today we also mark the critical role that women play in bringing to life our commitment to peace. Security Council Resolution 1325 on women, peace and security is one of the most far-reaching the Council has ever passed. This landmark resolution reminds us that there can be no lasting peace without involving women at every step. But even today, many negotiating teams and peace processes are totally dominated by men. It's up to all of us, governments, communities, and local officials, to ensure that women play their full part, including as leaders in building and maintaining peace. Resolution 1325 reminds us that our women peacekeepers are not only supporting global peace and security, they are leading the way. By every measure, Captain Cecilia Reçoit of Ghana is one of those leaders. Each year, we recognize the outstanding contribution of an individual military peacekeeper who goes above and beyond the call of duty to promote the principles of Resolution 1325. And today, I proudly present the Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award to Captain Reçoit for her work in ABA as the commander of the Ghana Engagement Platoon since March 2022. In ABA, she saw firsthand the enormous toll of armed conflict on entire communities, especially women, as she spared no effort to ensure that their voices were heard and reflected. The main function of the platoon she commands is to reach out to local communities, to hear their concerns, explain the work of peacekeepers, and to build trust. Her engagement with local leadership, women's groups, and young people has been critical to the mission's success. She also hosted discussions on domestic violence and gender equality, which resulted in local women enlisting in community protection committees that provide early warning on local security threats. On every front, Captain Reçoit's work has set the standard for ensuring that the needs and concerns of women are reflected across our peacekeeping operations. Chères et chers amis, je l'ai déjà dit à maintes reprises et je ne cesserai de le répéter, les Nations Unies ont urgemment besoin d'un plus grand nombre de femmes pour le maintien et la consolidation de la paix. Il en va de même pour les populations vulnérables auprès desquelles nos missions sont déployées. Il est grand temps d'augmenter de manière significative leur nombre dans tous les aspects de notre travail. Je remercie la capitaine Reçoit et toutes les femmes soldates de la paix pour leur engagement et leur leadership. Et je vous remercie de vous joindre à nous pour rendre hommage à tous les soldats de la paix pour leur engagement vital au service de l'humanité et de la paix dans le monde. Je vous remercie. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, for your words of condolences and encouragement. We now kindly request Mr. Secretary General to present the award and medals. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the Military Gender Advocate of the Year awardee, Captain Cecilia Ezwa from Ghana. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now announce the names of uniformed fallen peacekeepers for the Dag Hammarskjold Medal. The permanent representatives are kindly requested to receive the medal on behalf of fallen peacekeepers and sign the condolence book located to my left in this direction. People's Republic of Bangladesh, Sergeant Mohammed Manjur Rahman, Lance Corporal Kafil Majum Der, Sainik Mohammed Sharif Hussein, Sainik Mohammed Jahangir Alam, Sainik Mohammed Jassim Uddin, Constable Mohammed Munirizaman. People's Republic of China, Staff Sergeant Quan Chen.
République de Côte d'Ivoire, Sergent Konaté Assie.
Arab Republic of Egypt, Captain Sameh El Said Musa Abdul Gawad, Sergeant Bahir Abdul Galil Abdulaziz Sharif, Sergeant Hamza Ali Ahmed El Said, Corporal El Said Ibrahim Ahmed Mohammed, Private Mohammed Sobi Basuni, Private Samir Ahmed Muataz, Private Said Sowi Mohammed Shoki. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the Military Gender Advocate of the Year awardee, Captain Cecilia Ezwa, to deliver her remarks.
The United Nations Secretary General, and the Secretary General for Peace Operations, and the Secretary General for Operational Support, ambassadors and permanent representatives of member states present, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I am honored to have been recognized as the recipient of the 2022 United Nations Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award. This award underscores the tireless effort and dedication of my platoon towards the gender equality and inclusiveness while accomplishing the mandate of the United Nations Interim Security Force for ABA. I am convinced that the right approach to gender parity means deploying more women in peacekeeping, including to leadership positions such as platoon commanders, officers commanding, and commanding officers. Now I wish to express my ultimate gratitude to God Almighty for making this day possible. My appreciation also goes to Ghana's Military High Command for their trust reposed in me to lead a platoon along with 67 other females in the 1st Battalion to ABA. Lastly, to my family, friends, well-wishers, and parents, I say thank you for always being my greatest support and for your constant prayers. Mr. Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, in a special way, I dedicate this award to the beautiful people of ABA whose fond memories will forever remain with me, and to all peacekeeping personnel, particularly we women in uniform. May our dedication, commitment, and love for humanity never go unrewarded. Long live the United Nations. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain Ezra, for your inspirational words. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we now invite the Undersecretary General for Peace Operations to share his thoughts.
Alors que nous célébrons le 75e anniversaire du maintien de la paix des Nations Unies, nous devons regarder l'avenir. Les nouvelles menaces et la complexité croissante des environnements signifient que nous devons nous adapter et chercher constamment de nouvelles solutions qui nous permettront d'être plus innovants et efficaces. Pour réussir, nous devons faire davantage, collectivement, afin de répondre à ces défis. Parmi ces défis, il y a d'abord et avant tout la division politique entre les États membres, qui affaiblit notre capacité collective de soutien au processus politique. En outre, les attaques contre nos casques bleus deviennent de plus en plus sophistiquées, de même que la désinformation et la mésinformation, souvent organisées de manière méthodique pour nuire à nos efforts. En outre, nous devons continuer nos efforts pour identifier et répondre aux facteurs émergents de conflits, tels que l'impact du changement climatique et les activités criminelles transnationales de tous ordres. Et nous devons continuer à établir des partenariats solides et durables au sein des Nations Unies ainsi qu'en dehors des mécanismes des Nations Unies, notamment avec les organisations régionales et sous-régionales et les institutions financières internationales qui jouent un rôle essentiel dans les efforts pour répondre efficacement à tous ces nouveaux défis. Les partenariats avec les États hôtes sont également essentiels pour apporter une réponse aux conflits et instaurer la paix à travers des solutions locales et adaptées. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Undersecretary General for Peace Operations, for your remarks. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, we will now play the last post in honor of all fallen peacekeepers. Personnel in uniform are respectfully requested to kindly salute. Thank you. You may kindly take your seats. Excellencies, Generals, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the Gender Advocate of the Year Award and Dag Hammarskjold Medal Ceremony for 2023. Thank you very much for your participation in the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. You are kindly requested to remain in your place while the Secretary General departs.